Nathan, and this is Hallway Ski Reviews. Today we're talking about the Line Blade. This ski is actually from 2020, 2021, I think. This graphic. But they haven't changed the ski, and I've owned this for a couple years now. I actually bought it from a rental demo center, and it was just absolutely hammered from the demo center. But I have not had any issues with it since. It's actually held up pretty well for me so far. This is a very unique ski. It is the shape of a carving ski, but it's 95 millimeters underfoot. So it's all mountain width with a pieced carving ski shape. Extremely unique, kind of strange, but super fun, like undeniably fun. So let's get into, well, let's do what's inside. So this is a Aspen fiberglass and Titanal layup. The Titanal layup is their gas pedal metal. I think this actually was the first gas pedal metal before it went into the rest of the Blade series, like the Optic series. And it is two separate pieces of metal, and they start underneath the front part of the binding and go all the way up to here, and it's kind of these like arrow shaped pieces with a center cord and a cord of metal on the edge. So it's a very unique metal cutout. And then it's the same thing in the tail as well. It also starts, right underneath the back binding, and has similar cutouts all the way back to right here. They do have a plastic insert in the tails, which I always like when they have an insert in there, because that protects the tails from delamination and just overall wear and tear. The rocker shape on this is pretty unique. I say it's a on-piste shape, and that is this profile here. But when you get to this profile, then it becomes kind of more an all-mountain shape. So it has maybe 5 or 6 millimeters of camber underfoot, but then the rocker starts about there. But then if you decamber it, the rocker comes all the way down to there. So a massive amount of kind of early rocker and then more splay at the ends. And then the tail, which I didn't really mention before, but they've got kind of this cool swallowtail design, but it kind of is a twin tip shape almost. Like if you did not have this cutout in the tail and just continued that shape around, your splay would be pretty big here in the back. And then rocker starts right about there. And then if you decamber, it kind of pops a little bit, but not much. Not a lot in the tail as far as that goes. But it is kind of a twin tip shape in some fashion. The flex pattern of this guy is definitely on the softer side. It's like, medium soft, and it's got a pretty round flex. Like the tail is not super firm, the nose is not super soft, and then I think breaking the titanium or the Titanal layer into two pieces kind of adds like an additional bit of flex between the binding pieces. So it's definitely a unique ski in all kinds of ways. This big old nose here in the front, which is just absolutely huge. I should read you these numbers. So 154 in the front, 95 underfoot, and 124 in the tail. So this is 154 millimeters wide, which is just like powder territory. Like that is like big, fat, wide powder ski territory. And it's in a 95 wide waist ski with a carving shape. So just totally out there. I mean, Line does a really good job of making unique skis with unique shapes, with unique feelings, and just making them really, really fun. And this is no exception. This ski is extremely fun to carve on. I wouldn't say that it floats very well. I would never call this a powder ski. I would never seek out powder for it. It's not a ski I would take up there if there was going to be, 6 inches or more of fresh snow. It wouldn't go in the car. But for anything less than that, it does really, really well. And if you get, good groomers with fresh snow on top, or even just good softer groomers that are edgeable, like this thing is a absolute blast, like an absolute blast. I picked this up a couple seasons ago, and I'm always looking for an opportunity to take these things up because they're just fun. They're not hard to ski. They carve beautifully, like round carves. And, I don't know if there's an easier ski to carve off the speed that you're getting down a hill. So if you can dig this thing in and edge on it, it's kind of like a more trenchy personality in some ways. But if you can trench on it, this thing is just a total blast. It makes really tight turns. It's probably, 14 meters or 15 meter turn radius. Line does not list it. They just list it as short. So whatever that means, I'm calling it 14 to 15, somewhere in that range. And then with kind of a softer flex pattern, so you can really just bend this ski and get these round carves out of it. It's a lot of fun. So off-piste in, let's say 3 inches or less snow, this thing actually does really, really well. It's got a great personality. It doesn't like dig into the snow like a piste ski would. The tails don't grip and catch, and it's pretty slarvy and friendly. It does have a lot of weight up in the front, like this big old nose. There's a lot of weight up there. A lot of skis nowadays, they have like lightweight tips and all that, trying to lower the swing weight of a ski. This just doesn't care. It just gives you a big old tip, and you get to pick how you use it. It is a little unwieldy in off-piste moguls, throwing it around, moving it around. It's a little bit of work. If you can do wider, more spread out moguls and kind of do it more slarvy style, kind of going through them, this thing does just fine, no issues whatsoever. It's when they get a little tighter, and if you have to kind of like slap the ski back and forth and you have to move the ski, that the weight up here is more noticeable. And it definitely takes a little getting used to having that weight up there. Once you get used to it, it's not terrible. It's just fine. And then, like I said, kind of like almost a twin tip-esque tail in the back is pretty friendly. So this is, all intents and purposes, you can go off-piste with it, you can have fun with it, you can hit jumps on it. There's lots of people who do rails and park and all kinds of stuff on this ski. And it, probably does that all just fine and fun. It has a pretty snappy flex pattern, like I think probably the wood and all just the build in general, with that good amount of camber underfoot, it definitely has like a good amount of kick out of the turn, and it just is a extremely fun carver. If who would I say this is for? This is for somebody who's getting their head wrapped around carving and wants to really dig into how they're carving, what they're doing, how to carve off speed, how to like pop energy and create more power. Like, this is a ski that you can learn anything you want about carving and it'll teach you, and it does it easier than just about any other ski that I have ever been on. Like, I don't know, like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that will teach you how to carve better than this ski. You know, the techniques, the pressure, the where to, you know, put your body weight, you know, how much to push into your boot, how far to lean over, and, you know, just the ability to trust that this ski is gonna hook up and pull you into the turn and keep those G's, you know, keep you stuck to the ski and standing up and not just falling over. Like, this thing is awesome for that. It deals with variable snow pretty darn well. Just the heavier tips up there, and you know, the Titanal and everything, it does really, really well in softer, cruddy snow. Like, you can go really fast on this, and for the soft flex pattern that it has, it actually is pretty damp. I do have a demo binding on this. This was a demo ski prior, and my plan was to pull this guy off originally and put on a different binding. But after I had skied it a bit, I decided that the ski is actually a lot of fun having the demo binding on it for a couple of reasons. One, it's a little taller, so it allows you to kind of tip it over, and it almost like holds you in the turn better with a taller platform on the binding. Whereas like something lower profile, you kind of feel like you're pushing it and trying to hold it there. You know, a taller binding, you tip it over and you just have more leverage, and you can just tip in and it wants to go in. And I've enjoyed that feeling. And then I've also liked having it that I can just be like, hey man, you should try this ski, and I can just hand it to a buddy, and he can take it up, adjust it, you know, to his ski boot, and he can have a total blast on it, and then bring it back and hand it back to me, and, you know, no issues with the binding and the mount or anything. So full adjustability on the demo bindings. So this has been a really fun ski for me, and I haven't found a ski yet that replaces the fun and excitement and easygoing feeling of this ski. You know, I'd like to try some of the other offerings out there that are, you know, short-term fun carvers, you know, but we'll see. We'll see if any of those can unseat this in my quiver, and it'd be a hard one to beat because it's really is a lot of fun. This ski, what does it sell for? $700 or something like that. Don't quote me on that one. But they do go on sale every year. It seems like every year I see them up for sale for, you know, $450 or something like that. And this ski is 100% worth $700, and even more so worth $450. So if you guys are looking for just like a fun carving ski, or you're looking for your first carving ski to kind of like teach you how to do all of the things that you're supposed to be doing in a carved turn, and want to do it as, you know, in an easier package, this thing is an absolute blast and a great addition to anybody's ski collection. Yeah. So I think it weighs, I don't know, I've seen a couple different weights on it. Some say it's like 2050 and some say it's like 1930 or something like that. I have the demo binding on it. It's a lot heavier than a standard binding, so this thing's kind of a pig. But if you put a normal binding on it, it would be a normal ski weight, and you'd probably have just as much fun as I have at it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the Line Blade review. You guys should give it a try if you get the opportunity, and let me know what you guys think. This is Nathan, Hallway Ski Reviews.